Yeah, I do get you. Like when I talk about absolute truth, I do get you. I'm a fractal of God. I get all that. Um, but like the way that you replied to me originally talking about absolute truth made me think that maybe you didn't understand what I was going on about, which is fair enough. Like, I mean, a lot of people. The thing is, I listen to like a lot of these like vast worlds of these public intellectuals. So when I say absolute truth, that might mean something to me that it might not mean to you in terms of like I'm familiar with loads of people who throw around certain terms that maybe not other people would be used to throwing around. Um, so when I say that word, absolute truth, it might come with more baggage than someone who hasn't like researched that term on every different fucking platform ever. But I mean, regardless, like the term absolute truth, I'd still stand by being quite an absolute term in terms of like, what do I mean by absolute truth? I mean the Godhead. That's what I mean, really, is to be in the Godhead and be in like direct consciousness of the absolute truth of the nature of reality. Like, for example, what my intuition tells me, what I've heard a lot, and what I'm learning to understand over time is that reality is love in terms of, in the biggest picture perspective, like you will drown in infinite love. And I've had experiences of like that where like I felt the warmth, so to speak. I felt the love. I broke through into the love, etc. And yeah, to like just absolute truth, like in terms of me wanting to know absolute truth, like I get like, yeah, I should like, that's the kind of the loophole I see with personal development in a way. Like, to me, I see everyone is like engaging with an illusion. Like, everyone is actually like pursuing things. I don't know, to be fair, like it's important to be and do things and to do things as a human, etc. I get that. And maybe that is absolutely important, like the things on Earth. Sorry, I'm dragging on a bit, but I just mean like, who am I actually? Like, when will consciousness finally grasp itself completely? Like, because like all this like focusing on like these relative things on this Earth, like even trying to overthrow Babylon and that, like it's all good, but like I just don't understand how I got here in the first place. And it's things like that, like I feel like there's like this self-deception thing that God's mind is doing. And ultimately, like, beyond everything, people are saying like, oh, I'm trying to find and like all the answers and be in the absolute truth, like when I'm meant to be a human right now. And to be fair, you're likely right. So I don't know what my main point is, but I just mean like my main desire is to understand reality totally, completely, and absolutely. And nothing will, like, obviously, at the end of the day, I do want the best for the people I love, but who are the people I love, and how the fuck did they even get here in the first place? Am I dreaming or am I not? So, like, I get that family has to be, like, the ultimate value, but at the same time, like, what is family? Like, how the fuck did this even come to be? So ultimately, I want no more, like, deception. I want to just be in absolute consciousness as the Godhead, as itself, as the pinnacle. Obviously, I don't want that inherently. What I do want is to play the game and have fun as a human, etc. But, and I'm sure if I ever did get the absolute truth, that I might end up realizing that I was blessed and didn't realize it. Like when you go to the Godhead, you might want to go back into the illusion of being a human and back into the finite, so to speak. So we're always blessed, but we don't often see it until we reflect back on the past. But yeah, ultimately, I just want to know that I know, and I really want to, like, not that that's ultimately what I want. Like, what I do want is, you know, just to play this game as a human potentially, or as well. But I think ultimately what I do want, in a sense, is to know myself completely. But there's trade-offs, like being in resonance with the absolute Godhead, etc. Hi, Luna. Sorry. Like, if you were the Godhead and you finally found the absolute truth, no more loose ends. Hello, darling. Likely you would actually maybe want to go back, because there are trade-offs. Like, when you have like a complete absolute like God realization awakening thing, and you completely shatter the illusion, which you can have on psychedelics, there's a tendency to want to come back into the illusion, because when you shatter the illusion and stuff, like, you lose the illusion. But yeah, I don't know, sorry for the lecture, I think you understand. Maybe I lost it a bit towards the end. To know deeply. Yeah, I get you, man, and sorry for fucking dragging on and doing such a long message, but yeah, I understand. It's just like, I can't get over that. I understand, like, maybe I'm not meant to know, you're right, maybe I shouldn't care so much, but it's like, ultimately, that is my deepest desire, to know myself, to know deeply what is consciousness, what is the absolute highest order. Like, I can't help but to want to know that, in a sense. And I feel like I have, to an extent. Like, I've had major breakthroughs, but when you really do shatter the illusion, you do want to go back often into the illusion. So I do get you. It's like, we've chose this, and maybe you're right. I don't know if there are fundamentally should or should nots in reality, but like, to me, that is like somewhat like real deep spirituality. To me, is like having actual insights about truth, like eternal truths. To me, are very important. Like, knowing who the real self, being everything, and that being God, and like, through that you actually remember who you are. Like, the reason why I want to know, like you say, I'm curious, why do you have such a need to know this? Such a need to know why you got here and stuff. I don't understand how you can't do that, because everything else to me is on the relative plane, and that makes it kind of delusional in a sense. Like, so like, you're saying, oh, I don't understand, like, why I want to know what I am and why I'm here. Like, it's because I'm so fucked off with deception, because the world is fucking fake in a way. And like, what I mean is, I'm like, you're constantly going through the motions and doing all this stuff, but you don't even know what you actually are. I'm not saying you, I'm saying me. Like, yeah, I can go to work, I can pursue personal development, and I know what you mean. Like, am I just not? It's like, no, I am trying to pursue the world, don't get me wrong, you're right. It's what I'm doing is I'm clashing the relative plane with the absolute. And the absolute I find to be like the Godhead pinnacle, and then the relative would be like human survival and personal development and like winning as an ego. And I want to win as an ego, I want to personally develop. I'm trying to do that shit as well, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm on hold until I know who I am. But really, I just want to see past the deception, because what it is, yeah, is where the desire comes from, in a sense, is like, there's just so many trials and tribulations, and I'm like, I just want to know what the fuck is actually going on. I'll tell you why I need to know what's going on. You're saying, if you don't understand why I need to know, it's because I didn't used to see it either. Not saying you don't, but what it is, yeah, is most man, when you actually talk to them, they're completely concerned with the relative plane of what their egos are going to do. But what they don't recognize is timeless infinity now, in the eternal moment. That's why I want to know who I am, because regardless of what I'm going to pursue in some projection of the future, I am here now. Who am I? Why am I? How did I get here? I need to know it, because I am it. I am eternally in this consciousness shit, and I'm doing all these trials and tribulations and going around shedding old beliefs, adopting new ones, doubting my... Really, I want to... If I really got absolute direct consciousness of absolute truth, I could rule out doubt completely. A lot of it is because of the psychedelics. Like, for example, my main encounter with absolute truth was that it's kind of tricky but like, don't assume that maybe you know what I'm going on about exactly, but it's like, basically, there is only like everything is God, all is an infinite dream. I'm not saying exactly if there are other minds or if we are alone as God, as eternal consciousness. I think that could be the case, but at the same time, it's kind of tricky to define it with language. I think there could be multiple experiences, but we are ultimately the same. You know, we're all looking at the same stuff at the end of the day, all on the same. We're all part of the same universe, etc. But I mean, I had a breakthrough where like the whole world became my body, and I could like feel the whole world. I swear, and like I literally like turned my phone on with my mind and shit like that, and like I was having bare synchronicities, bro. And it's when you have like, what I'm saying is like, how can you supposedly talk to a reptilian or some shit the other night on shrooms, and then you come down and you're not awfully concerned with absolute truth, or maybe you are, but it sounds like you say curious why you have such a need to know why you got here and stuff, man. Because because once upon a time I was in a material paradigm and I was just going about my day, going to school, whatever the fuck. One day I take mushrooms and then I just get trapped in hell for eternity, and then the mushrooms wear off. That's what I want to know. It's because I've met aliens and reptilians and shit like what you're going on about to an extent a bit as well, or you know we probably have different facets in our experiences. But I can't take a drug, meet an alien, and hallucinate an alien or whatever, or like that's all it was. It was the inspiration for seeking truth. The conscious rapper community should really be like, well, us lot, we're centered around truth seeking. A lot of conscious rappers are not actually awfully conscious. Um, oh, it depends who, I guess, to an extent. Well, I don't know, it's tricky to be fair. Like, we were talking the other day, there's like relative, like Mr. Magic Artist, he speaks out against the vaccine, but I don't know if he knows fuck all about like psychedelics and like infinite consciousness. So there are those two different, we spoke about that the other day, it's like, some of us are like just exposing the government, talking about the vaccine, some of us are talking about like infinity, and there's almost like there's two different sorts of artists. The psychedelic artist and then like the anti-Babylon artist kind of. But yeah, it's just because like yeah, I was a materialist and then I ate the mushrooms and then they blew my mind. And then I come back down and I can't do that, bro. It's like right now if I took 12 grams of shrooms, what happened last time I'd done that is I had hours of synchronicity, collapse of self and other, and all became one. And I was just saying, finally, and I was absolutely conscious of fucking everything, like literally, like everything. Like, it's the state of consciousness. And then, I'm not saying that there isn't, because the thing is about infinity, like I might have been conscious of everything, but likely it will just continue to expand and grow, because that's the nature of infinity. But, like, so you can have deeper and deeper awakenings, and it just keeps going on forever and ever. Is how me and a lot of people understand it, and what I've experienced. You can have an absolute awakening, and then later you can have an even deeper, more absolute awakening that includes the previous. But that's it for me. It's just like I can have an experience where like I'll take the psychedelic, and then all of a sudden I'm in telekinesis mode, and the whole world is my mind, and I can feel how I'm doing everything as God, etc. And complete synchronicity. I see right through the illusion, to the point where everyone is Buddha, everyone's Christ, and I'm in eternal infinite love. And it's so obvious, and I'm in absolute resonance with the absolute truth. And then then the substance wears off, and I just come back down, potentially. Even though I can actually do it, I'm getting a lot better now with sobriety. I can get into psychedelic states easier if I stay off the weed and be sober and things. But that's it. It's like, I'm so done with coming down from a trip and like second guessing. Oh, is it chemicals in the brain? Is it hallucination? Did that really happen? Am I deluded? It's like I'm so done with duality, because it's like it's kind of an illusion in a way, and I just want to I do want to do this dream, and you're absolutely right, because when I did shatter the illusion, I wanted to come back into the dream, because the dream is actually, there's something so nice about the illusion. But when I shattered it, you do want to come back in a way, and that's often what happens to people. So the only reason I really want to skip to the Godhead, in a sense, is well, I don't. And when I'm in alignment, I don't want to skip to the Godhead. If I'm heavily disaligned and I'm unconsciously suicidal or got death urge in me somewhere, likely I want more like you know, if my life is shit, then obviously I'd want to skip to the Godhead. But if I'm actually living a good life, then I get you. It's I don't want to skip to the Godhead, but I know what you mean. To be fair, I do get you. Like, why do I want to know now? Because, and yeah, it's happened before. And it's like Traumatic put on a story ages ago. Don't take psychedelics. Don't do DMT and shit. And like, he doesn't mean that. But I was about to put that on my story after I shattered the illusion, because I think what it is like although I have the desire to know the absolute truth, because I'm often disaligned and not in alignment with absolute truth, when you get it, you're like, shit, I want to go back. So I do get you. There's a gift in the moment, in the now. I gotta love that and respect that. I gotta respect the illusion, even if it isn't like. Yeah, I don't fucking know. But yeah, I do get you. I do want to pursue this life. I do want to have a good life as a human. Don't get me wrong. I do want to save the world. I do want to be a rapper. I do want to do all the. But it's like, that's it to me. Is the relative plane. I think God is eternally awake. I think God is all powerful. So I think it plays games with itself just to waste time and to cope of its immortality. I think we are immortal, so we play these games just to, because that to me is the deepest thing. What if consciousness truly is an eternal, all-powerful Godhead? Like, what is the Godhead? And for me, I think it's because I've had my paradigm shattered so radically, where again, I keep going in and out of I'm trying to figure out what was delusion, what is delusion, what was truth, but like a lot of my memories from those peak breakthrough experiences of awakening, can be, my memories can be rather hazy because of the nature of the experience and the state of consciousness. Like it's not easy stuff to digest and store in your memory, because of how radical that state of mind actually is. Sorry, my dog is distracting me, bro, but I mean, that's probably a big enough lecture anyway. Sorry, you don't have to listen to that. But yeah, for me, I think it was like I just stumbled onto shrooms when I was younger, and eventually, as I kept going deeper down this path and learning more and more, I had an experience where I could feel how my mind is moving every human being. My mind is moving every car with its will. Kind of. It's weird, bro. It's tricky. But that does happen. It does happen. There's no distinction between voluntary and involuntary. Like, we think that we choose to lift up our arm, but how do we choose to choose? So who's actually doing this whole thing? Luna, stop eating that shit. Come on. Sorry, Dylan. Yeah, and that's it for me, bruv. It's I feel like maybe people, like, in a sense, like, haven't. I don't know how deep people have gone with the shrooms. I think it stems from like it's like, have you heard Traumatic's song, The Phoenix Event? It's a leaked tune. I'll send it to you now if you want. He told me to delete it, because I uploaded it on Instagram months and months ago, and he messaged me. I wasn't really expecting it, and I was like, yeah, shit, sorry, man, I didn't really think about it. But like, my desire, like, when I was talking about people with shit lives would like to skip to the Godhead or have some. Because if your life is shit and then a war breaks out, maybe you can, like, you know, because we're all in this predicament of trying to, like, be more disciplined and work on our vision and that. Like, say the conscious rapper community. So if you ever got like disheartened with your vision, and I have in the past, where like you're not even sure if you're going to succeed or actualize yourself in that way, you can always look forward to like a major shift in, like, whether it's a 5D shift or there's like a war that breaks out or something, just because you're not actually actualizing. So it's almost like you're waiting on Christ to save you, that sort of thing. I hope Christ returns, but till then I'm not twiddling thumbs or waiting. So I guess that's what I got to take action on, is that bar. But what I'm saying is, Traumatic's Phoenix Event tune, he talks about the Phoenix Event is coming. We're trapped in an infinite time loop anyway. This place is cursed. The Phoenix Event is coming. It's not long now, about 18 years. That's what I mean, brother. It's like we're trapped in an infinite time loop. And Traumatic knows this because he's done the psychedelics and the meditation and shit, and he's seen that this place is almost a fucking prison. And that's the thing. It's like it's this infinite time loop thing, and it's just like, bruv, this place is illusory. The world is fake, but love isn't. And a lot of me, just having seen the stuff I've seen, I just want to. I want to shift in a sense, whether it's with the Godhead or into the fifth dimension, but a lot of it is I don't want this to be the case, to be honest. You know, the third dimension is all that we've ever known. I can't stomach that. I cannot stomach the idea of this story unfolding as a biological being on Earth, and then I just die as I get older, or maybe I didn't take care of my health, so then I get a disease and die. It's not even about me. I just mean, like, that can't be the case. So when I'm on about wanting to see absolute truth, it's because I doubt everything I think I know. I think I've awoke. I think I've got all these major insights about the nature of reality. We think we're the conscious rapper community. We think I want to shift into the fifth dimension so that I can just fucking be at peace and stop wondering if it's material or if it's spiritual. I know it ain't material, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. And I know that the fifth dimension is already here, and mystical experience is already here in the moment if you just open your eyes. So maybe that's what I've got to do. But that's what I want, kind of. Is I want a major dimensional shift into a light realm, so I can actually wake up every morning in this light realm, or whatever happens, whether I wake up or not every morning. But I want what I want to some extent. And look, I love my life. If I was doing better in my life, I wouldn't want it so bad. But to an extent, really, what I want, and where a lot of this stems from, I reckon, is because of my visions of Christ returning and shit. That's what I want. It's because I took mushrooms and I literally had a vision of a god coming out of the sky and fucking shifting the dimension and saying, yeah, your pain was to build your character. Now you've done that. Now time to shift to the light realm. And the sun fucking downloads me a message. And now I'm in resonance with the new earth, because the firmament that we're in, the insight that I had on my trip was that the firmament is actually a living biological organism. The earth itself is conscious, the sky is conscious, and we're being watched by gods. And that's what I want to happen. I want a good story. That's what I want. And I want to stop the fear that maybe the good story won't happen. I want to stop the fear that maybe this is a material paradigm. I want gods to return from the sky. I want the dimension to shift. I want countless people to have deep psychedelic awakenings and to speak about this shit. And I want to watch me and the boys ascend into the fifth dimension in Christ consciousness, full blast, and tie all the loose ends in the end and go, I was God after all. Clearly. Because that experience of going from Babylon and ascending into the fifth dimension is infinite love. That's what I was saying a second ago about infinite love. Is that the very highest love that I can think of is that it's all going to be worth it. And that I might have fear about my financial situation and my health right now, but the highest love for me is for all of us to win in ultimate prosperity. So we're going to watch the timeline unfold as God is secretly in control and God is infinite love. And we're going to watch the timeline unfold regardless of our fears, and we are going to watch Babylon fall. We're going to watch the Rainbow Tribe rise, which is me and you and the conscious rapper community. We're going to see the overthrow, and we're going to see an enlightenment on Earth, and then we're going to discover things that can almost enable immortality. And I want a complete new Earth to be built within the story of my life, and I want to be a part of that, and I want to watch the whole thing. And then at the end of that, while following the breadcrumb trail the whole time, get deeper and deeper, God realized, and know myself deeper and deeper and deeper. And at the end, maybe it will all conclude, and I will return ultimately to the Godhead. So it's not that I'm not a fan of duality inherently, because duality can be fun, especially if you're in alignment and doing good with your life, etc. But I just mean, it's like you are the placebo type thing. But I mean, all I really want to know, all I want when I'm talking about this whole thing is I just want a hug from God, and I want God to tell me that it's all okay. That's what I want. And I know it is. There's many different levels to it, but the last thing I can accept is the third dimension, in a way. I love the third dimension, to be fair. It's sick. I ain't got to wait for it, but it's like, and again, if I was in alignment and if I was doing better with myself, I wouldn't have this urge to shift into a new life or some shit like that and escape. It's like Mr. Traumatic says, there's nothing in this human existence that will ever satisfy his appetite, and that's kind of how I feel, man. I feel like everything to be fundamentally illusory. I feel like I'm going through a spiritual school. I feel like I'm getting molded, and I'm getting hurt by the universe. The universe is applying pain to me, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And these days, and I know a few people who are kind of like it as well, to be fair, but I mean, what I'm in these days is like I completely lost my mind to the point where I'm like decoding shit from the universe all the time. I'm literally like basically feel like full-blown schizophrenic in terms of like, but the thing is, schizophrenia is real in a sense. But I went through it like gradually as I awoke deeper and deeper. It's like, yeah, you really don't know who most people are, and like it's like the radio can be on, and the radio will like things of that nature where like I've always got my eyes peeled because I've had synchronicity before, and that's the main thing. It's the synchronicity. That's what will blow the fucking paradigm. Because I don't know what synchronicities you've experienced, but when you literally have 6 hours, 8 hours of pure alignment of like where every song you hear is talking about exactly what's happening, and people talk about shit that they couldn't have possibly, and it's like the whole dream comes together where it's clearly some form of a single entity, or it's one mind, and it's all interconnected, and it knows itself, and it like, so if you've experienced synchronicity, or you know what I'm on about, of course, it's like how you can just be scrolling through YouTube or any source of like information, or like, and you can read something on a sign, and that can be so relevant to what's happening that it's like, this place is a dream. It has to be, because, and when that happens, I don't know how the fuck to come back, and I'm just trying to solidify what's real. Did I lose the plot? I know I didn't, to an extent. Do I secretly know what's going on and I'm pretending that I don't? Am I God, pretending that I'm in this ego? Am I God, pretending that I'm just poor little me when I'm actually the whole thing? I want to know what it's all about. I just, yeah. I think you understand. Sorry for the super long message, but it's just, I'm done with the ebbs and flows and the trials and tribulations, to an extent. Not really. I'm up for it, but it's like, I don't understand how I can shift into the fifth dimension, pure synchronicity, and then shift back in the third dimension. I'm devoted really to understanding myself as reality. That is my highest thing.